Hi everyone, Brian from Bear Bull Traders here. It is Sunday, July 7th, 14th, and hope everyone's had a great weekend. So we went out on Friday at pretty close to the high of the days here. On all the indexes, you can kind of see the tail of the tape, and markets all breaking out to new highs. And at the same time, we've got a lot of the stocks that have already given some warnings about their earnings and their guidance forward. It looks weaker. And so we've got some very bizarre um, news that's kind of doesn't make sense. Markets pushing to all-time highs. Stocks, companies reporting that the earnings are slowing. So yeah, it's all about the Fed. It's all about maintaining low interest rates, I think, at this point, and no place else for people to put their money in a low interest rate environment. So, and what it looks like interest rates heading lower, especially after what we heard from the Fed last week. So, yeah, it's strange times. Let's just take a look at what groups we had. Some the week we had technology, basic materials, services all performing pretty well for the month. Technology, services, and basic materials again top three. So technology, kind of a risk-on trade, high growth areas, back in favor. Let's take a look at how we're doing with the indexes. We already know they're already up. And we're getting back into earnings season. Next week's going to be a big week. We've got the financials coming up. Some of the big financials are reporting. And yeah, we're getting right back into the thick of it here with some second quarter earnings seasons, and got some transports. Transports have been under pressure, but they came back this week. And let's see here. Let's see what happens. So you can see a 10-year Treasury kind of turned up here during the week. Let's take a look at it on a weekly basis. So this is the long end of the curve, obviously. Short end is what the Fed has more control over. By lowering interest rates, they don't have a lot of control over the longer term unless they start buying these things. And we said we bounced off this low. It was really oversold, so overdue for a bounce. But let's see. Kind of interested to see where this goes in the next week. We'll see if it can hold up there or maybe move higher. But if it starts to creep up again, we know that when it got back up around 2.8, the market really rolled over. So long way from there. And let's just see here. Obviously, the Dow on the day gapped higher and then moved up from there. Dow on the week through 27,000, and I think this market's going higher. RSI continues to be strong. We punched through all these previous highs, and yeah, not super volume. Again, the small caps actually haven't performed quite as well as the other indexes. You can see here we had a big rejection from this day here, or this day. And let's just take a look at the weekly here. I think this market moves higher. You can see it opened up and then bounced off pretty close to this 50 moving average. So I think everyone's talking about how the small caps are underperforming, and they are, but I think, if the markets all continue to move higher, I think the small caps will move up with them, which gives you an opportunity to play TNA if you want to. That's an ETF that plays the small caps. Again, QQQs broken out, RSI continuing to move higher, all these moving averages moving up. Volume's really been dropping off, and of course it's partly the summer effect. And you can see MACD moving up again here too, the short-term averages turning up. And SPY, same thing, breaking out to new highs. And RSI continuing to strengthen. Again, volume a little bit lackluster, but again, summer effect. Let's see what happened with the dollar. You can see here it sold off again, probably part to dovishness of the Fed and probably looking at more interest rate cuts. So unless we get some more dovish comments from the EU and some other nations that probably the dollar will sell off a little bit more here, maybe close this gap, which it almost did on Friday. May continue to go lower. And VIX has really been, has had the air sucked out of it, and I think we're right back down at, this 12 level, which would be sort of support. But if we continue to strengthen and the markets continue to go higher, like I think they may, we could be, we're looking at the weekly here. You can see here we're right at some pretty significant levels of support right around this 12 here. If we lose that, I mean, we could be looking at a 10 handle on this, on the VIX. And again, that's barring any kind of negative reaction from some of the earnings we're going to hear. We'll see what comes out. But again, I think that weakness will continue to get bought, and will continue to grind higher. Let's call it the pain trade. So let's see what we got for actives. As you know, I'm still in gold. NUGT, I really like the way it's behaving. I think with the way things are in the markets, I think it continues to go higher. Certainly been holding in here. And added back to my position on gold and through NUGT, and we'll get to that in a minute. See here, we had to stop out a BMY. It just had a terrible day on Thursday. I don't know what the news was. I didn't bother to look it up, but you can see here we're right back down to this 44 level, and I'm actually thinking I might add this back again, and we'll see what happens on Monday. But I'm kind of got it on my radar. It's right back at support again, and maybe we're going to hold there. So I might actually add that back again. But right now I'm out of it completely. Took the rest off. Stopped out before it turned red, and already had partialed out of it at a much higher price of the entry, so that worked out. Trade still worked out okay. EA on Thursday hit my target, but I was so surprised I hadn't had a chance to put the my exit in yet, so I had to take a lower price on the exit on the first partial, and it's right back down again. But I'm just keeping an eye on that here. And pretty close to, if it drops again, I'll get stopped out, but I'm hoping it'll hold and continue higher from here. So let's see what we got on watch here. Chinese stocks, still watching them, nothing much happening here. It's still pretty, still seem to be stuck. Narrow, very narrow trading range right now on stocks like Baidu, which is seems to be just in the phase of consolidation. So I'll be looking for a break one way or another. Google had some earnings, or not earnings, they had some news on Friday, something about a fine, and I think the fine came in a little bit lower than expected, but they were down. They've been up over 200, gap down on the Friday, but then of course just rocketed higher from there, and I've been playing that by selling puts and underneath this, and just taking the premium at the end of each week. No position now on this. I just my last put position ended on Friday. Took the money, and I haven't taken one since. But I think Facebook does go higher. It's just a more expensive stock to hold in a portfolio. It's another way to play it. Yeah, KWeb again, Chinese internet stocks not doing so great. Micron's just pushing higher. It's pretty close to all these topping patterns here, and I'd be reticent to take a position on this. But the RSI is getting pretty oversold here, overbought, I should say. Volume's been picking up. But we're well off the highs, which is over $60. We go back on the weekly, but we're right at some levels of prior resistance. So I'd be watching it here to see what it does. Silver, the poor man's gold. Again, it's kind of looking like it's going to break out here, and I'm just going to keep an eye on that this coming week. Semiconductors have been doing really well this week. AMD, MU, NVIDIA. NUGT looks like it's going to hold here somewhere around 33, 33.50. If you're in for looking for a dividend play that probably pretty stable, might not be a bad stock to take a small position in and just hold. That's what I'm thinking about. Natural gas, I don't know what's going on with it. It just seems to be choppy right now. And I'm just going to hold on, just not do anything with that. Oil, people are talking about oil breaking out higher. This is USO. Had a down day yesterday or Friday. Still could be breaking out here, or it could be breaking down. Got a couple of gaps. We got a gap here that could be filled, or we got a gap here down from this level that could be filled. So we'll see what happens on Monday and the rest of the week. XBI, again, this biotech space has been terrible when everything's breaking out, and this thing's just not going anywhere. Again, I'm not sure if it's going to go anywhere with the as we head into election. XLE, again, kind of following the oil space, and we'll see if that looks like it might want to break out here, but we'll have to keep an eye on that. The banks are pushing out higher, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be taking a position on those or not. So that's it. Again, yeah, I've got a bunch of things to watch, and again, I think these markets continue to grind higher, and it'll be quite interesting to start to hear some of the guidance that we're going to be getting from some of the companies that are going to be reporting this week. As I said, like we got some of the transports reporting, we've got banks reporting, and yeah, it's going to be an interesting week, and we'll see how the markets start to behave when we start seeing some of these earnings and guidance stuff. So, all right. Well, anyway, this is my book, How to Swing Trade by Brian Pezim. I hope you, if you haven't had a chance to check it out yet, maybe grab it on Amazon. And again, we'll have a great rest of the weekend, and hopefully we will see you in the Bear Bull Trading Room or on the YouTube Live channel. We do pre-market show, and I'll probably be doing a swing trading session in the Bear Bull Trading Room around 2:30 in the afternoon on Monday. So maybe we'll see you there. Bye for now, everybody.